Thank you all for joining us. My name is attorney Mary Kate D'Souza. I'm an attorney with over 20 years of experience in elder law, estate planning, and probate litigation. And I'm one of the co-founders of Gentreo, which is an online software estate planning solution, which seeks to make estate planning easy and affordable and accessible. And we're really trying to get folks who, for whatever reason, have not created their estate plan an opportunity at a low cost to create it and maintain it and update it as their life circumstances change. And unfortunately, in my private practice as an attorney, I was often in court with people who either did not do their estate plan or did it when it was years ago. So really it had no, their circumstances had changed such that it wasn't relevant to their current situation. Or, the saddest circumstances were the people that had created it and then couldn't locate it. And instead of being with their loved one in the hospital when, end of life decisions needed to be made, instead they were in court with me trying to get emergency orders because they couldn't locate their loved ones' documents. So Gentreo is really trying to solve those problems and assist you in preparing and protecting everything that's important to you. So thank you for the opportunity to present. And as I said, we'll, if you could keep your questions till the end, and then, would be happy to have, a discussion and answer any questions you may have. So let's get started. Estate planning basics. What is estate planning? And I think, all of us have an understanding of estate planning is, oh, that's a will. And that's what happens to my stuff when I die. And that is partly true, but more significant components of estate planning that people sometimes fail to consider are the powers of attorney documents that protect you while you're alive. That's the medical power of attorney, also known as a healthcare proxy, or healthcare power of attorney. It's called different names, and financial power of attorney. These documents enable you to protect while you're alive those things that are important to you. And of course, there is the will. In addition to saying where your stuff goes when you pass away, it gives you an opportunity to also, if you're the parent of minor children, nominate guardians for the kids that you would want, like who you would trust, and also allows you to appoint someone that you would want to manage your estate. The relevance of all this is, of course, who do you want to be in control of this? Do you want an anonymous judge or the laws of your state to control? Or do you want yourself handpicking who you would want and trust to make these decisions for you? Gentreo, in addition to offering products that help with estate planning for people, we also offer products that help if you're a pet owner and you want to fund a pet trust or create a pet trust. So there are significant risks if you don't plan, and some of which I've already mentioned in terms of having to go to court, and there's a financial and emotional cost to that. More importantly, for family and loved ones, if you don't have your things organized, your affairs in order, oftentimes there is conflict among family members. And some of you might say, well, I don't have enough to fight over. In my experience, it's not about the value of the item, it's about the control. And so if you make a choice as to who you want in charge of whatever aspect of your estate plan, my experience also shows that people honor that. So your loved ones aren't going to fight if you name Susie in charge of your healthcare and John in charge of your money, for example, because you've made those decisions. People might be upset, but they're not going to act out, which is all the goal of having an estate plan and having your ducks in a row. And one quote that people, everyone has a will. The question is, who wrote it, right? Did you write your will, or did the laws of intestacy of your state write your will? And what's important there to reflect on is, we live in an imperfect world, right? Where families sadly are broken and splintered. So what happens in those situations, if you don't have an intact family member, say you talk to 3 of your sisters, but not your brother. If you pass away, your brother would get an equal share as the 3 sisters that you're equally close to, because that's the laws of intestacy. So one of the things that's important is that you want to control it and make these decisions. So let's get into the documents. The first document I want to talk about is the will. And I think this is something everyone's more familiar with. But a will is a document in which you say who you want to get the bulk of your assets, and there may be some special things that you want to go to select individuals. The will is also your opportunity if you want to plan a gift to your church or another charity. This is where you could give a gift within your will and it would be honored. Additionally, it gives you an opportunity, if you're the parent of minor children, to select choices as to who you would want for your first, second, third choice in taking care of your children if, heaven forbid, the worst would happen. Finally, the will gives you an opportunity to name someone that you would trust. It's called a personal representative or an executor. This is the person that would manage all your estate and winding up your affairs for you. So it's a big responsibility. And again, most of us would want to choose someone we trusted to do this and not have the court appoint someone who's a stranger to us. Excuse me. Another consideration is what type of an estate plan that you want to have your affairs organized. With a will, that kicks in upon your death. It gets probated in court and you get your personal representative appointed, and that person's job is to make sure your wishes as expressed in your will are upheld. Some of you may choose to do a living trust. That's a way of managing your affairs while you're still alive and making provisions for when you either become incapacitated or die. And the difference there is usually you're the trustee, you're the manager of it, but you have to fund it. You have to transfer whatever assets that you want to be encompassed by the trust into the trust. So basically you're doing the work during your lifetime as trustee, when upon your death with the will, the personal representative does the work. A trust is really good for people that whose biggest value, I'd say, is privacy, because a will, like all other court documents, are public documents that people would have access to. With the trust, it generally doesn't go to court. It's generally managed outside of court, so all your decisions are private and managed by the trustee. As I said, with the living trust, you have to fund it. You have to transfer assets into the trust for the trustee to manage it. Now, upon your death, what often happens is that people haven't 100% funded the trust with everything they would want. So they create what's known as a pour over will, meaning all assets that you own individually upon your death would be poured into your trust, would be transferred into your trust upon your death. And with Gentreo, when you create your trust, you also at the same time create your pour over will. So it's an all-encompassing estate plan so that you're 100% covered. Now, the powers of attorney, which I alluded to at the beginning of our presentation, these are significant documents which afford you protections for not only your choices, but again, for your loved ones during your lifetime. With the Gentreo medical power of attorney, you're able to designate 3 choices as to who you would want to make medical decisions for you if you were unable to make them for yourself. You're also able to, if you so choose, to indicate what you want for life-sustaining treatment, end-of-life care. You're also able to make decisions about organ donation and have an opportunity to give explicit instructions if there's something that you really feel strongly about. So again, given our, the congregation, you might have very strong feelings that you want a blessing when you're at end of life, that you could write that in your healthcare proxy. And then your agent's job would be to try to make sure that your wishes as expressed would be completely upheld, and that the doctors would have to honor your decisions, and the treatment team. So what's important about this is not only are you hand choosing who you want to make these decisions, but you could also make the decisions in advance of a crisis, which makes things so much easier. Additionally, there's the financial power of attorney. This is analogous to the healthcare power of attorney. This is your chance to choose someone that you trust to manage your money. And you can give either limited powers or general powers. And you could also make it durable, meaning it would last through your incapacity, or, thank you, Jake, or you could make it limited. So say you're going on an extended vacation, hopefully with the world opening back up now, people would have more opportunities to travel, etc. But with that, you could limit it to a specific time with specific powers. It's up to you. Now, finally, the last document is a pet power of attorney. This is a document in which you sort of formally make arrangements for what you want to happen to your pet in your absence, either due to travel or incapacity. Excuse me, I think I'm having, it's finally spring has come to Massachusetts, and I think allergies are getting to my throat, so I apologize for the coughing. So that's a brief general overview of estate planning and estate planning documents. Now let's talk about Gentreo and its solution for these issues. It's, as I said, it's an online software solution in which you are walked through a survey to create your documents. In addition to creating your documents, we partner with attorneys if you want more advanced help, and notaries public to get your documents notarized. Every state has its own requirements as to what makes each individual document valid. Sometimes it's 2 witnesses, sometimes it's 1 witness and a notary, etc. With Gentreo, you get all the instructions to explain how to create your documents. Once you've created, how to execute your documents. Once your documents are created, you complete the witnessing requirement, then you upload them back into your Gentreo digital vault. This is a differentiator of our company because we really seek to be a one-stop digital home for you and your loved ones, people that you would trust to receive certain documents. So your documents would be stored in your Gentreo digital vault, and you could give select access to each of your estate planning documents and your other important information to the certain loved ones you've chosen to be either your healthcare agent, your financial agent, your personal representative, etc. The Gentreo digital vault allows you to store names of doctors, health insurance information, life insurance information. One of the members of our team, sadly, when his mom passed away, he found a life insurance policy in his mom's underwear drawer. And he had no knowledge of it, nor did any of his siblings. And here's the thing, if he wasn't the one actually physically cleaning out his mom's apartment by himself, he never would have found that document because, it would have just been thrown out by whoever he paid to go in there. And that's the importance of the Gentreo digital vault, that all your documents, all your relevant information is there so that when an emergency strikes or when you ultimately pass away, there will be people there who will be able to access the information and take care of it. And critical information won't be lost. What happens is with absent and estate plan, people lose up to 8% of their estate's value. And that does not include life insurance policies that are never collected, and other things because people didn't know about it. Additionally, with Gentreo, we really offer an emotional component. So we have an opportunity that if you want to connect and create a memorial video or anything of the kind, and also the opportunity to do prepaid funeral plans. And finally, we offer Gentreo Coaching, which is a 15-minute complimentary service to help walk you through the Gentreo software in case you have any questions. How it works. Gentreo was created to be self-sufficient, meaning you can log in anytime, anywhere, and create your own documents. You get walked through a simple slide survey asking you questions, and you complete the answers. Once you've finished your document, you get instructions, you look it over, you get it notarized, then you upload it back into the system and went into your Gentreo digital vault, and then you share it with all those that are important. The beauty of a Gentreo membership is that we're with you as your life circumstances change. What your life looks like right now in spring of 2022 might look very different, fall of 2025. And you say, well, why is that? And I think we all know, right? That's the nature of life. People get married. Sadly, people die. People get divorced. New babies are born. Sometimes people fall into substance abuse. There's all kinds of issues which may warrant you wanting to change your estate plan. And Gentreo's with you through all of those changes so that you can easily update and change your plan as is necessary. So we welcome you to join Gentreo. That's our website, gentreo.com. And there's a special code for our Savior members, for you and your loved ones. And it's 15% off the fee, which is usually it's $100 for the first year, $50 each year after. But with the 15% discount, obviously that brings it down to $85. So if you have any questions, feel free to email us at support@gentreo.com or info@gentreo. But I'm here now with Jake, and we're happy to field any questions that you may have.
Well, great. Well, thank you, Mary Kate. That was wonderful.